Deaf world.
Deaf world.
Deaf world.
Deaf world.
Deaf world.
This is Deaf World. Deaf World, Deaf World. Coming to you live from somewhere on Earth.
Yeah, in Afghanistan. We're actually at the penthouse where Osama bin Laden resided, along with the other CIA assets. This
Rest
is
in
a
peace.
Birdman, and I'm deaf. This is a special guest, Mr. Simpa Holloway, Sergeant Pepper,
That's the only way.
and the cameraman extraordinaire. You're not gonna know anything else after that.
Sheesh.
And if you're gonna mention anyone personally, just use pseudonyms or whatever. I'll try to
Okay.
assume who you're talking about.
Sounds good.
So I'm gonna just start off since you're, a prominent SJW, an art,
Okay.
an art major from a private school. So there's only transgenders and aggressive lesbians.
There's other people.
There's
too,
other
but
people. Diversity is key. Diversity is key.
That's the whole point.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna just come out with a hard-hitting question, like, what do you think about Roe versus Wade?
Roe versus Wade? I think it's fucking stupid. Like, I think I mean, nothing really fundamentally changes for where I am, the people for where I am, because we're lucky.
Super
to-
liberal state, no
Yeah.
freedoms.
I mean, I think it's a lot of like bullshit. I feel like it's such a easy tactic, or like I feel like it's such a political thing. Like majority of Americans don't agree that women should have the right to choose what they do with their body. So I think it's bullshit.
No, but the question is, when is it considered a separate entity, a separate body? That's that's another question.
I think it's
Another
really
philosophy.
hard. Yeah, I think it's really hard to pinpoint scientifically when something is a human being and when it's not. The only real argument for it is like a religious one, that they have a soul, that the fetus has a soul. There's not a real scientific argument for it.
Well, there kind of is a scientific argument for it. I wouldn't say Plan
Really?
B for Plan B, but like when,
No,
when there's a
there's-
heartbeat, when there's like sensory awareness, stuff like that.
But when it's 4 weeks or whatever, I mean, is there a heartbeat at 4 weeks?
I don't know.
The point, I think the only real argument is the religious one, which is that the fetus has a soul.
I don't agree, because I mean, there's people having abortion. Like me personally, I can see both sides. If someone wants to get rid of their kid, I mean that's their response. I mean that's what they have to deal with. That's what they have to deal with God. You know?
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
on their conscience.
That's on their
No, I
that's
mean,
on their conscience. That's how I see it. I mean, but to argue like it being a human rights issue, I think there's a valid argument, especially when it's like 4 months or more into the pregnancy, around there. But at the end of the day, it's not banning like abortions. You know what I mean? It's just from state to let the people in
Well,
each
yeah,
state decide.
They kick it to the states, but I think it's still like exactly what you said. If how you feel, I think is like how I think is right. Like if you want to have an abortion, if you believe abortion is evil and murder, that's your right to believe that. If that's your religion, then I fucking respect that, because that's your religion. That's how you feel. But I think for the state to say, and yeah, they didn't ban it. They just kicked it to the states. But for the government to say, I mean, they're not saying it, but they are like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's what they're saying, that based on religious values, that a woman cannot choose to abort
I still don't think it's purely religious. Like I still think it could be like a ethical issue too. Like when do you consider it to be life? You know, that's not to say that
that,
I obviously I don't want there to be more poor and retarded people, because you know there's crackheads that get pregnant and then they give that kid a horrible life, or you know anything. Like you can just think of anything. Someone that isn't economically uh safe in order to provide a decent life for that child and stuff like that. And they're just gonna create more negativity, more generational trauma, uh, I guess more problems. But
I
I can
mean,
still see the argument that you know that it's still an ethical issue. When is it a human or not? Because then why not make infanticide legal too? You know, maybe a week into.
but that's a stretch, because
I don't know.
an infant is already outside of someone's body. I mean, we're not we're talking, like, we have to like consider the person that's carrying the body. Like, yes, yeah, I mean, like, maybe there's room for what you're saying, but like, what about the person who has to carry the fetus to
Lumps
term
themselves.
for 8 months?
That's crazy. Nah, I mean, I know, but it's still like a separate entity. I mean, it's part of it for growth. I wouldn't
It,
consider a baby a parasite in the womb a parasite.
it could be a parasite if it's killing the mother.
I mean, but 9 times out of 10, abortions are like done over like inconvenience,
Yeah,
statistically.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's morally right or wrong, but I think the moral issue isn't, uh, like, if we're talking about like laws and like more like morality. Yeah, it should be a part of our
Yeah, exactly. You
lawmaking,
can argue it's terminating a life. That's basically what it is.
but you can argue that, but the only real basis for that is if you consider life to start as soon as life is conceived, and that's not really science.
Yeah, a lot of people in the extreme feel that way, but I mean, there's
But
still an argument
that
for
is
like
the
weeks, months, stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Then it gets like really technical and hard. But that's why it's such a hard issue. But like, we're gonna say that life starts as soon as it's conceived. That's the whole premise. That's why abortion is what is on the agenda for a lot of these conservative justices, and really the conservatives in general. That's part of. I mean, and it's all like, I mean, I don't know. It ties. I think it ties back into like this whole like um fear. I've heard you talk about it, like the LGBTQ, uh, indoctrinating of children type shit. Um, I think it ties into that. Uh, I mean, I think it's fear mongering for the most part. I mean, I think there are things that could be fleshed out more, but I mean, I think it definitely ties back into like this push, conservative push, really, um, against like LGBTQ or whatever, and
But how you
trans,
comparing the two though?
because I think it's all tied together. Like it because if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, I mean, it really does open the door for other shit to get overturned.
Mm,
Like I mean, I think it's possible. Like like how 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 possible did Roe v. Wade getting overturned seem before this? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb, but it's hard to believe that, when only because a majority of Americans, it seemed like we already kind of got over that. Majority of Americans agree women should have control over their bodies. I mean, fucking, isn't it like 60% or something?
yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like there's still an argument to be had that like it's two separate bodies. I mean, it's just one is growing into a full
Yeah. I
infant.
mean, yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
And that's fair, and that's fair. But I think, like, if we're if we're talking about laws, why don't we? Why like it should be it should be legal for a woman to have an abortion, and we could still have that conversation about is this morally okay or not. I mean, it's like drugs. I think drugs should be legal.
Well,
But
people are
is
gonna use them
abusing drugs
regardless. Like people are gonna
is
have
a
abortions regardless. Yeah, I
is
definitely see
it
that argument too.
is abusing drugs okay? No, but like, is that you? I hear like a ringing.
Yeah, I try to ignore it. It's my chair.
Uh, um,
Super creaky.
I think someone's calling my dad or something.
Nah, it's cool. Your mic's not catching it though.
Oh, okay, dope. Just annoying me. Nah, yeah, I think like I think our laws have to be separate from morality because then it gets too wishy washy because morals change all the time. Shit is accepted.
Okay, yeah,
Shit,
but then
it,
murder can be accepted too. You know what I mean? There needs to be a
yeah, but
balance.
if yeah, but I know that's why the law is like law is supposed to be impartial. It's supposed to be um fair and not biased, bro. Morality is inherently biased.
Okay, but
There's a
law,
there's a wrong and a right.
yeah,
There's a good and a bad.
but law still come from morality. Like that's why
Sure,
you
yeah,
can't kill people
yes,
because
yes,
it's an infringement on someone's rights to life. You know, and you
but
can make
yeah,
the
I mean,
same argument for a baby in the womb.
I don't know. I think it's hard. It's hard to like. I don't think any credible science will say like life starts
Well, okay,
as soon
I
as
don't agree with that part, but
as soon as a baby is conceived. I don't think like there's no way to measure that. Like, how do you measure it? As soon as a sperm enters, or as soon as the sperm mixes with the egg, or whatever the fuck happens?
yeah, but then it
Like,
gets
how do you?
it gets kind of
But that's
like
the whole point.
yeah, no, I get that, but it gets kind of iffy when like when you go into the stand that like a woman has a right up to like even 8 months or like a month prior because there's philosophical arguments for like because this is fine then infanticide up to a certain age, I
I
mean?
mean, that's hella traumatic.
Yeah,
Like, if a woman chooses to do that, that's probably fucking like I don't know. That's like, imagine having a whole baby in your body and then deciding last minute you want to kill it. Like, I feel like that's not an easy choice to make. Like, yeah, I think
but then you can argue you're
just
infringing on the rights of the soon to be soon to be child, you know at the end of the day.
I don't know. I don't know if you can say that. I don't know if I agree with that. I still think I think I think it's more important to focus on the rights of the person who is alive
They're alive though. I
actually.
mean they're they're breathing, they're there's hearts beating, we're talking about like late term abortion or
But
even
we're
mid.
not
I don't
talking.
know.
I'm just talking about as soon as a baby is, as soon as it's
The
conceived,
sperm hits the egg,
as soon as the sperm hits the egg.
I guess. No, I can
I
see.
mean
Yeah,
that
it's still a difficult
in
thing.
some states aren't they like some states have the like I think it's past 6 weeks you can't or like past 4 weeks or something you can't abort anymore when you don't even know if um you don't even know you're pregnant yet before you decide whether or not you want to keep it. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I think it's stupid, and I think it's just theater, really. Because no one's gonna be down for this. There's gonna be a lot of protest. There's already a hella protest. Um, no one fucking wants this. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's all theater, bro. It's all fucking.
Do
It's
you,
all.
well, let me ask you this: do you know Margaret Sanger,
Um,
the founder of Planned
wasn't she a?
Parenthood?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, she
Um,
was a eugenicist.
yeah. I mean, I'm not. I know it's it's funny because most uh majority of, I think you could say majority of minorities or whatever, blacks, brown people, they're probably pretty conservative. Like a lot. I know a lot of my family members are a lot of the religious family members, which a lot of people in those communities are religious or Catholic, hella like super stupid Catholic and Christian.
Yeah.
Um, like there's people who are happy who obviously agree um with plan banning of, or with overturning Roe v. Wade or whatever. Um, though I mean I know I feel like it's really a white people concern. Um,
But
I
you
guess,
do know the founder of Planned Parenthood was more or less a
yeah,
white
it's
supremacist of the eugenicist.
yeah. I mean it's eugenics. Like
You know,
yes,
depopulation of minority groups in the states and stuff like
yeah,
that.
man, and they tested Plan B on fucking women in Puerto Rico, fucked up women in Puerto Rico, just trying to figure this shit out. Well,
Yeah,
that's
and
I mean
made them
that's like
infertile, stuff like that.
yeah, that's a it's a
Yeah, I think you unplugged your webcam and your mic. So yeah, so I had to cut that real quick. He had something going on. But what were you saying?
um. What was I saying? Oh yeah. No, I think it's like it's definitely like a very like it's super complicated and fucking like I know. Ooh, um, population control is real.
Yeah,
Um, especially here, when you know there's a fear that immigrants are gonna take over, black people are gonna take over, or are gonna outnumber white people. Like that's a real thing, bro.
I mean, some people
Um,
think that the vaccine was a
I mean,
depopulation
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know.
instrument.
I don't fucking know. I mean,
I was going
um
for everybody in the country. We can go with that. That's a whole different topic.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But nah, I mean, yeah, definitely. History has shown us that fucking um, there's been some shady shit done to uh people who are treated as second class citizens in this country because of fear like that.
But I
Because
don't
of
think
like,
it's just second class citizens anymore. I think it's more of like it's a global outreach to depopulate people, have them have less sexual interactions, promote uh abortion, etc. You know what I mean?
I was listening to this guy talk about how, or fuck, I think it was Joe Rogan. He had some physicist on his show. Joe Rogan was saying how like he was talking about aliens being like um the are like the alien that picked the depiction of an alien in like popular culture, like big head, fucking really skinny bodies,
A
no
gray alien.
genitals. Like yeah, like he was saying how like that's he sees that Joe Rogan was saying how um like w- basically he was saying that humans are evolving to become, like, he was like, what if humans, like, that's our future, that's what we're gonna evolve to become, like, because if we think about like fucking Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, like, are the human or what are we're Homo sapiens, right? The humans have evolved. Our jaws are smaller, our brains are bigger, we're not as fucking muscular anymore, and that's all because of the environments that we're in, technological innovation. We learned how to cook, all that bullshit. Um, and so basically what they're saying, like, well, what if we're going towards that? Like, we're like basically asexual, like we're not gonna be interested in sex anymore. Like our brains are just gonna get bigger, bigger. We're gonna get smarter, smarter. We're not gonna and like sex being like something that makes us mammals because that's like an instinct. Like the conversation was like once we figure out how to evolve, that's gonna be like one of the first things to go. Like our like that. Like he was like, oh no, or this is what Joe Rogan saying. He's like, yeah, we're not gonna be human anymore after that. Like we're gonna
Yes.
like it's gonna be something else because we're no longer like we were no longer like susceptible to like our natural or like what was our instincts because it's not efficient for like survival or whatever.
Yeah, for sitting in a computer and creating
Um.
your virtual reality home.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Uh. Yeah. Fuck. But that's a long way ahead from here.
All right, well, going back to the first topic. So, do you think like rioting and major violent protests should come from this?
I let me tell you what I think. I think I've seen some people protesting and being real vocal here in well, I'm in Los Angeles. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Here in Los Angeles. And I just think it's like not that I don't agree with it, but it's so like, bro, like I feel like why are you like who are you protesting against here?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like Gavin Newsom just put out a statement that this is a safe haven. Like are you protesting the government? The United like I mean like it's just like it's just I don't know how effective it is.
I
It's like
I personally believe it's like radical feminist and like groups like Antifa that are really like promoting this like retarded act of defiance that really does nothing except create
I mean,
more reasons for the government to like intrude in our rights basically.
yeah, I mean, I'm all for fucking saying fuck you to the government, but um, it just seems
But
like I
they're not
understand people
actually
are
even doing anything like towards them
yeah
specifically. They're just fucking creating more problems for the middle and lower class, genuinely, because all the places that they go to protest and riot it's not even in the neighborhoods where there's an actual control or
yeah like it's just like I understand right like rioting in fucking Alabama, you know what I mean, like or in fucking Texas where it's illegal now because of this like there's states where it's literally illegal to have an abortion now because they have trigger laws, but in fucking California, Los Angeles, like I mean, I understand protest, but I just don't know how effective it is, and it's just like it just plays into like I don't know, maybe we could use this anger in a different way. I feel like there's I know you don't like Hassan,
oh man,
but
he fucking
I
sucks.
I was listening to his stream about this, and his point was like, or he was talking about voting and like how Democrats are saying like, cool, now you have to vote, like like this is like the most important time to vote now, blah blah blah. And like his whole point was like it's all like his whole point was that like that's what you told us last time, basically. Um that like if his point about like enacting change not through voting but through like actual organizing, like unions for example, um because there's power in numbers. Like I don't know about union for this case, but like I don't know. Like I think there has to be a different way than just fucking going out onto the street and hitting a cop. Like it just like how effective is that really?
Or burning down a small business.
If they're burning down small businesses, yeah, how effective is
Definitely,
that really? Like like where especially here in Los Angeles, like it just I understand it, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Hasanabi is probably the worst person you can mention in terms of anything political. Like he doesn't make arguments with anyone that like tries to dispute him. He like patronizes black people about racism. I don't know if you saw him talk about Jadion's most racist city in the country's video, where basically he was just like bad mouthing him like that. And he even said himself that he doesn't even know what racism is. How are you gonna tell that to a black guy, to a guy that, from a guy that obviously he looks white, he's good looking, and he makes money from talking to preteens about politics? Like, that shit is insane to me.
haven't seen that. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't take it. I take everything for the most part with
Yeah, he's just a
grain of
complete
salt.
like fucking retard douchebag that like I've never seen him go to any of these protests. All he does is talk and talk about promoting communism while also making millions from other people's content and just him talking about it, and he calls that content. What? You know, I mean, I can go
He,
on
def-
on why he's fucking mentally retarded and
he
probably
definitely
racist because
makes
he think he's like
millions.
white man burden type of vibes. I don't care if he's fucking Middle Eastern. He looks white as shit.
Nah, he's had some good takes.
Nah, he's fucking full blown retarded in my opinion.
Yeah, he's had some good takes. I mean, that's a good take. That's a good take. That makes sense. Like voting doesn't do shit. I mean, it could, I guess, but like,
Yeah, I
is
get to the take, but it's coming from like the worst person ever. Like, how do you patronize a black person about racism? That's fucking crazy.
I haven't seen that, but yeah, that is stupid. That's kind of weird because like I feel like he's a very
People, it's just people like that, like just talking heads on the internet. They thrive off like negativity. Like they don't, especially people that just talk about politics. They don't want to see things getting better because then they don't have content. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
They get off on racial division, stuff like that, so they can go ahead and complain about it and talk about how they're morally superior. You know, that's my issue with people like Hasadabi. You know?
No, I mean, yeah, that's a valid criticism. I think, but I think he had a point there in that
Yeah, but
there has to be
anyone
some
could say
sense of
that the government
organizing.
doesn't do shit and protesting isn't gonna do shit, especially like in a liberal state.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty obvious. But now it's just like, what do you do? I mean, people are angry, would rightfully so, bro. I mean, it's so stupid. It's just so dumb.
I think they should pass around Plan Bs like candy in all poor and middle class neighborhoods. That's my opinion,
Well,
honestly.
isn't it what the statistics are majority of who are the majority of people getting um abortions? I thought it
In terms
was
of class, I have no idea.
yeah.
I have no idea.
That would be an interesting statistic to see.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it is class warfare though. I mean, that's what it is because rich people are gonna get abortions regardless whether you live in a state that is legal or not. Um, this only affects low income
I'm sure there's
middle
gonna be
class
black
people.
market abortion clinics everywhere, you know, popping out here and there. See how it goes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This only affects people that don't have the means.
That's the only reason I feel like fuck them, let them do what they want. You know, if they want to go to hell, shit. That's up to them, bro. You
Well,
know.
that's the whole thing, bro. That's the point of living in America. God damn it.
Again, but like you know, at the end of the day, I can go back and explain. Yes, you know, I mean, I could say yes. Still, there's still that scientific, you know, argument that's in the gray area to prove whether or not it's a living thing. Because like, just because it doesn't have a consciousness doesn't mean it's not a living thing. Like you weren't conscious of you being like 1 or 2 years old, were you, or maybe 3 years old, right? I don't remember what I was doing when I was 2, 3. You know.
I remember.
So
The
maybe
fuck?
maybe at that you remember.
Hell yeah, bro.
Okay, you're a fucking memory savant.
I was sucking on some titties.
Hey, yo, chill, bro. That's your whole mom. That's crazy. You're gonna
It
clip
wasn't
that
my
one.
mom's.
Yeah.
It wasn't my mom's titties though.
Who's what the fuck?
Yeah, that's for me to. That's for me. For my eyes only. My ears only.
Jesus.
No, I'm playing.
Yeah, I think you're abused, dog.
Something
I'm gonna come clean, man. I think you're
happened to
abused.
you.
Something happened to you, dude. It's like when fucking dudes like, yeah, I lost my virginity when I was 11. What? She was like,
Yeah.
she was my babysitter, I guess. She was 17. She was cool.
She was 18. It was tight.
You were abused. Bro, this is why you can't go 5 minutes without talking about sex. There's something wrong. You need a therapist.
That's facts. Nah, I mean, bro, if you can't make a solid non-soul related argument about abortion, then I think
But there
you
is
should
though.
just
It's just they're not they're not popularized or whatever. Like I can look up different philosophical arguments and stuff. That's why I mentioned the femicide one because not femicide, infanticide one because
fantasize.
it was like one of the first philosophers or like psychiatrists that I guess
But
studied.
don't you think that these philosophies were created and thought of in a world that was definitely discriminated against women, like definitely thought of women as less than the man,
Yeah, but
like
during that same time, there's people making, the argument why it was okay and why infanticide could be okay up to a certain age, up to like 1 years old or something like that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. Like you're taking that it's purely a religious thing, but I mean, it isn't necessarily because there's scientific arguments for both. That's like scientists nowadays don't even understand what consciousness is, so
Fuck.
kind of in the same
Yes.
ballpark,
That's facts.
There's no like underlying there's no underlying statement to perfectly describe what consciousness and stuff like that. But shit, what else is on the news? Did you hear about like all that farmland burning up, like multiple farms all over the country burning up and like 300 cows dying, something like that?
When? No, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, some trippy ass shit going on in the background that they'll never talk about in mainstream media.
Well, yeah, not with this fucking Roe v. Wade going on, bro.
Man. Shit.
No one wants to hear about some farmland. What the fuck?
Dude, I'm way more focused on fucking gas prices, bro.
What
Fucking
the
like
fuck?
almost $7 a fucking gallon. That's ridiculous.
crazy.
I know you're spending a lot of money with your car, bro.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, that's wild.
Like,
That's
shit's
really
crazy.
wild.
All for Ukraine, man. Let Russia have it.
You know what's a trip, bro? Is
Mhm.
that Russia is making more money now than they were before because people are still buying. Like I think India is buying their oil and India is like it's such a like our fucking our tariffs or whatever the fuck they're not really working. Everything is backfiring.
インターミッション
Scared, yeah, I walked outside and I hopped up in a ride. Scared, finna slide, yeah, go, yeah, I'm finna slide. She think I love her, but I lied. But I tried, man, yeah, that's right, I tried. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah, I tried, yeah, I tried, yeah, I tried. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, yeah. In the party, 2 teeth, everybody likes me. That rack on my jeans, and I want my nigga goes green. I'm too fleet, and these niggas still swag. It's okay, they crack me. Most niggas fake like most crack meats. And my money tall like a fucking athlete. And I stuck my money tall, yeah, it's taller than a tree. But I tried, man, yeah, that's right, I tried. Oh
is shit.
Heavy backpack, things I can't take out. Sound close, dirty, I know I should stay inside. One piece, everything that I make is too real. You know I don't wanna hear it, don't share. Flash in my face, thought I was walking through the party with a never thought about my problems till today. Wake up, don't want feel bad, might break away, no trust. Love, everybody's so dumb. Potions, we're so dumb. Sleep like night, medicine cabinet looks like I had a bad cough. I just be thinking too much, I just wanna nod off. I just be splitting it up, think you got a problem. Crawling through all of my bones, to the shot up. Crawling through all of my bones, not up. It was an accident, I'm sorry, that was my fault. You cannot capture this mission, isn't my fault. I remember the incident, I don't know what I saw.
On life alert, no amber. She think my car broke, cause my wheels got camber. Bitches say salty on Twitter, tryna slander. Her Uber got banned by a low-level scammer. Hella pill. On life alert, no amber. She think my car broke, cause my wheels got camber. Bitches say salty on Twitter, tryna slander. Her Uber got banned by a low-level scammer. Hella pills on me, you can hear my millagrammer. I'm the big commander, run around the map, you a camper. All heads past expiration date. Niggas jacking off, they got shake weight. Niggas drop dead, tryna dedicate. Don't do it, if I'm in your state, I'm on the interstate. Pop medication, tryna meditate. I'm on my own, I don't affiliate. On life alert, no amber. She think my car broke, cause my wheels got camber. Bitches say salty on Twitter, tryna slander. Her Uber got banned by a low-level scammer. Hella pills on me, you can hear my millagrammer. I'm the big commander, run around the map, you a camper. All heads past expiration date. Niggas jacking off, they got shake weight.
And we are back.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Russia's still making hella money because they're selling to other countries. I think India is one of the countries buying their oil, and they're fucking reselling it to us at a higher price.
Yeah, but that also brings up the issue about like that national pipeline that the Biden administration stopped. Where
Sanctions is what they are, not tariffs. Stupid.
Yeah, sanctions. But you know that brings about the thing about that huge national pipeline that the Trump administration was working on that got stopped by the Biden administration in order for like I don't know over climate
Dakota
change. That's
Access
excuse for
Pipeline.
everything. Yeah. Because we already lost all of our manufacturing factories, you know, here and all that stuff. So America is literally dependent on outside countries for basically everything.
Venezuela, I think we're in talks with Venezuela about oil. I mean, yeah, maybe that would have helped.
I think it definitely would have, and it would have created a lot more jobs. But I think there's a push for globalism, and that's why, you know, the U.S. is having the problems with Russia.
I mean, I think
getting themselves involved.
I think globalism is inevitable, bro. Like we can talk to people across literally on the other side of the globe. We can talk to them instantaneously with our phones now. Like Like we're already a global. We're like already. We're right there, bro. Like we're right there. I mean, I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, but bigger government is always a bad thing. So if there's a one world government, it's only going to create problems for, you know, 90% of its citizens.
And there's gotta be a solution though. Like this is inevitable because we're not going back unless there's a fucking dark age, another you know, blackout or something.
Fallout 6.
A meteor, a meteor shoots across the sky and we lose all of our like technology, internet and shit. Like that's the only way. Like this, there has to be some kind of way that there has to be. I mean, right now it's in the hands of the people that are fucking rich as fuck. That's the problem. Davos and all those fucks.
Freemasons,
But
Templars.
I mean, but it's inevitable, bro. Like I think if there was like a fucking awakening in in all the poor people in the world, maybe something could happen.
Yeah, I highly doubt that though. They got us vaccinated, they got us indoctrinated.
Yeah, I got us concerned with a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and sooner than later they're gonna have us infertile.
Not me, bro.
Did you get
The
did you get the
fuck?
booster shot?
Yeah,
Everyone I knew that got a booster has had COVID multiple times since then.
I've only had COVID once.
Really? I still haven't had COVID to this day.
You're fucking weird.
and I did get the vaccine because I was shamed into getting it. But we'll see in a couple years if it has any side effects.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll just have to wait and see.
We will see. Yeah, no, I mean, I think globalism is inevitable, and I don't even think it's bad. Like this planet is way too small compared to this fucking galaxy, bro. Like it's inevitable.
You think we're just
But
dust in the wind?
I mean, we are. We're only gonna live fucking another 60 years, you and I. 70 years, 80 years, maybe.
Yeah.
How long has the universe been in existence? Fucking billions of years, bro. The fuck? We're nothing.
I guess, yeah.
But
Mhm.
but that's what I mean. Like we're so like we're literally in this together though. Like it's just you know fucking rich people in power want to keep their power. I mean, fuck. That's the problem. Not I don't think globalism is the issue. The issue is people who want to maintain control.
Well, that's what it is.
Who,
Power, and once it's, I guess, I mean, there's already intelligence agencies basically control the governments of the entire world, but Sam Hyde made like a good he made a good basically depiction of like what's to come like with globalization and like if the Davos group and like other elite organizations plans go how into fruition, like you'll own nothing and you'll be happy about it basically.
yeah.
Like every day in this global government society or whatever, it would be like going to the DMV,
Oof.
where like you'll constantly be having problems and like there's no escape the bureaucracy and the bullshit, and you can't really excel in a place that's structured in a way to suppress
Yeah, we'll just be fucking made to work or whatever. Whatever they
exactly
want us to do.
made to merely survive and not to create any economic foundation,
Yeah.
like any economic generational wealth.
Nah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
these people are there are some really evil people in the world. But and then like yeah, that's fucking terrible.
One thing I do that does make sense to me, but I mean they can't get rid of all of us because they won't have anybody to control, unless the transhumanist agenda is a real thing. once they can have computers to do everything, like flip a burger or something. I just saw I saw a commercial on TikTok basically showing these like fast food automation in like at a Arby's or some shit, where basically they have these fucking robots flipping burgers and fucking making fries and shit. So
Yeah, I mean that's happening, bro. That's also that physicist was talking about that in that Joe Rogan episode. He was talking about AI and like how in like fucking 50 years AI is gonna be really like he was making predictions about AI and AI gaining consciousness.
yeah, but it's
Um,
not just AIs. I feel like once they get like the physical robotical stuff right, where like literally they don't need servants. You know what I mean? They don't need
yeah, yeah.
people.
Once everything is automated, well, that's what
Yeah.
Andrew Yang was talking about.
Yeah, I fucked with Andrew Yang because he brought up like really actual important points in terms of the future and stuff like that, and didn't go on and on about climate change. Just talked about automation and how that really that would eradicate
The
the
need,
middle and lower
the
class
need,
for humans
the need, the need to exploit immigrants in the United States of America
or poor citizens.
or poor people. Yeah,
Yeah, as you
so
man.
they
I
can
mean,
just fuck off. They
some
can just fuck
man,
off.
immigrants that are balling on fucking the lower class, bro. They get paid
That's
good
that.
outside of Home Depot, bro. Those jornaleros, they get paid pretty good sometimes, like 30 an hour, 20 an hour. Shit,
That's called hustle, bro.
that's hustle. Yeah, you're making real money. I fuck with it.
um, yeah, nah, for sure. That'll be crazy. And that's coming. I think that's inevitable too. I mean, fuck. That's why. I mean, that's why this is such a like. We're in such a. If you think about it, we're in like a very special moment in human history.
That's why I personally think that stuff is more important than all this like everything they're trying to put in the forefront because
Like bro, we saw the internet become the
yeah,
internet, bro. Like,
and
imagine.
we're watching the censorship of the internet too. Anyone with ideas that don't resemble the mainstream media or that go against the mainstream narrative are systematically being oppressed. I mean, you can even go. I mean, you can even bring up fucking Pizzagate because that was crazy how fast they were to fucking wipe that shit off the internet. And not to say that all of it is true, but once you pick the points that if you really dig into it, there's like a lot of creepy shit going on, especially with the Hillary with the Clinton Foundation and the Gates Foundation. Like there's some weird shit going on. Like even uh one of the one of the workers, or I guess you'd call them social workers, basically trying to take a group of like 15 kids into a different country without any papers or anything, and she literally got indicted for it. So there's a lot of weird shit going on in that.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. Um, all I know is we are in this very specific moment in history right now, and in fucking things are gonna be so different.
Yeah, like we're
And
hitting a climax. Like shit's just gonna get crazy. It's gonna get. I feel like it's probably gonna get worse before it gets better. But
I mean,
you
I
know,
think it is. I think it's clearly getting worse right now, bro.
yeah, and there's too many people that like even if they are well aware of social issues and stuff, they're too extreme, like on both sides of the spectrum. That's the issue. Like you have to have a balance of everything. Like I think that there's an importance to certain tradition. There's an importance to progressive thoughts too. But there needs to be a balance when it comes to everything. I think most people that are the loudest, especially on social media, are are basically just churning the machine of like chaos and bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. I think there needs to be more nuanced conversations and more like just open mindedness and like understanding. I mean, some people have some pretty fucked up ideas, but
From both sides,
uh,
that's the issue.
but I mean, I think we're never gonna get anywhere if we're just fighting each other.
But and it's crazy though, cause like we're kind of being brainwashed into thinking that people think so extremely as well. Because I recently Elon Musk
Yeah,
like
it's like you know, you think you're so different from people, but really you're like, you know, you're more alike than you know.
yeah, but I don't mean yeah, of course that was the point I was making, but I was talking about how like Elon Musk reviewed I guess the Twitter servers and found out that about like 30 to 40% of the users on
Bots.
Twitter are fucking bots. So that includes obviously
Well,
political stuff
there's
and
no real
etc.
proof for that, bro.
How can you not prove that? You can look at
It's hard. I think it's
analytics.
hard to. I think it's hard to really prove that. That's what he's saying because he doesn't want to buy it anymore.
Well,
But
I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't be surprised that that's true. But at the same time, it's really hard, I think, to prove that 30 to 40% of Twitter users are bots.
You gotta think about it like this though. Like,
But I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm just saying it's really hard to prove, and I think Elon Musk is like backing out. He doesn't want to buy that shit.
but you can buy
Because he's
viewers.
broke. Because it's making him broke, bro. Someone was talking about him like paying 40 something billion dollars. Yeah, that's a lot of money. And they were saying like someone who was talking to me today, she was just like she was ranting. Some older British woman. She was
SJW.
ranting, very liberal. She was ranting about Elon Musk and how with that money he could, you know, pay everyone in the world $5 million or something like that.
Yeah, Bill Gates could have been done that too.
He could have, but um, really, I mean, what Elon Musk paid, I think like I don't think that was all his money. I mean, I think a lot of it too was like stock and shit. Like,
Well, people think billionaires just have $1 billion like in a fucking vault or
yeah,
something. Like that's not how it works.
but he's not trying to buy that anymore because Tesla stock went down. He probably can't even. Yeah, he probably is not as rich as he was fucking a couple months ago.
Well, everything's going down, you know. I mean, I don't think it's changed his lifestyle. I think even the crypto's fucking seeing a lot of hardship right now. Like, I'm stressing over Bitcoin right now.
I think it'll go back up.
Well, it should eventually because of the having the how what is it having the halving? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Slowing down.
No, it's the I guess the Bitcoin is basically gonna go through a like a halving, which is like basically it's gonna split the amount of Bitcoin available in half, making
Which will increase the
value.
I see.
Yeah, of each Bitcoin that you're holding.
Interesting. I don't know about that. I know Elon Musk is getting sued for pushing Dogecoin.
Well, that's what happens. It always takes a boost. It just has to do with like cryptography and like just the whole nature of it. But as of right now, Bitcoin is still, you know, headed to its supposed like trajectory of like 100K or something per Bitcoin. It's the whole process, and it's not supposed to happen until 2024.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, it definitely. It's easy to manipulate people when everyone's highly emotional
Did you hear
or
about
highly
oh, yeah,
highly irrational.
did you hear about the basically the subliminal Nazism and acceleration ism that was basically founded on Bored Ape?
No,
Now it's really interesting. It's like the founders of Bored Ape were there are a whole bunch of like
the NFT.
yeah, the NFT group.
Shit.
Yeah, it's like there are a whole bunch of like esoteric fucking 4chaners that have basically been promoting Nazism and stuff inside of 4chan. And then they've been like throwing little subliminal hits on it on like Bored Ape. Like, and a lot of people when it first came out, they're like, why is it a whole bunch of like monkeys and shit? and there's this
Supposed
video
to
on
be-
YouTube. I'll
supposed to
send
be
it to you.
racist.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it just has like a whole bunch of racial ideologies behind it, which I find really interesting. That like a couple 4chaners could basically monetize their ideologies and fucking prank the whole free world into buying these fucking
Apes.
ape images.
Crazy.
I mean,
Yeah, that is interesting.
they say
Send it to
Donald
me.
Trump won because of 4chan memes. Yeah, memes are really powerful too. Ideas.
I agree with that. I love
Philosophy, all
memes.
that.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Fuck, man. Yeah. Yeah. We need more love in the world.
Yeah, more consciousness, bro. People are really
Yeah,
stupid.
we should just like we should really just we should start just like getting naked with each other and stuff.
Yo, hey, yo.
Yeah, no, we do need more consciousness. I think we just yeah, it's so hard, bro.
All right, well, you seem pretty like drained out. You've been working all day, so I'm gonna just cut it right here. Catch you guys next time.
Damn, we end on the